Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from KME2 Group 6 and we will present about the importance of emergency funds, how to start and maintain them. Our group consists of 6 members. Firstly is ATHIRAH, secondly is FARAH NAJIBAH, thirdly is me, PUTERI INTAN TANTIANA, fourthly is SYAZA NASREEN, fifth HANAN SYAKIRAH, and lastly is NUER KAMARILLA. In a recent statement, Datuk ABDUL Governor of Bank Negara Malaysia, emphasised that many Malaysians still adopt a short-term approach to financial management, with nearly half unable to save RM1,000 for emergencies and 1/3 uninterested in insurance and takaful. Despite improvement in financial literacy, the application is lacking, underscoring the need for emergency funds. And emergency funds act as crucial buffer against unexpected expenses such as car repairs, medical bills or income loss, preventing financial derailment and debt accumulation. Without sufficient savings, individuals often rely on high interest credit cards or loans and risk compromising their retirement savings. Building an emergency fund requires discipline and commitment, but it is essential for financial stability, reducing the need for debt and ensuring long-term financial goals remain intact. Saving enough to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses is recommended. Starting small and gradually building up to provide peace of mind and resilience against life uncertainties.
Next, background of the issues. History of emergency fund and personal saving. Emergency fund are related to an unexpected or uncertain crisis such as sudden unemployment or illness, and might also occur from the unexpected increase in consumption current needs. Preparing for emergency events by forming an emergency fund could be suggested to involve financial behavior. Savings, consumption, and investment behavior are highly related to this financial activity. Even though there is no specific definition for the emergency fund, most studies have tended to use definition purpose. This proposes that an emergency fund is purposely to allow an individual to survive during an emergency without affecting their normal standard of living. Personal savings refer to the proportion of income that is not utilized or postponed for future consumption. Essentially, savings denote the residual amount of money an individual retain after deducting their consumer expenditure from their disposable income within a specific time frame. These savings can be stored in various forms such as cash or cash equivalents, which carry no risk of loss but offer relatively low returns. Next are relevant changes in financial behavior over the years. The financial behavior in Malaysia has shown significant shifts over the years, influenced by economic conditions and policy interventions. In 1999, amidst economic hardship, borrowing decreased while cost reduction and gambling also declined, reflecting prudence and economic constraints. By contrast, 2004 and 2009 saw increased borrowing and gambling amid economic upswings, facilitated by greater consumer credit accessibility. The National Strategy for Financial Literacy, launched in 2019, aimed to enhance financial well-being through education, access to resources, and promoting positive financial behaviors, particularly among young adults. The COVID-19 crisis further highlighted vulnerabilities impacting financial practice and well-being among Malaysian youth. Looking ahead, Malaysia anticipates economic growth driven by resilient local demand, favorable inflation and interest rates, with projected expansion of 4.5% to 5.5% in 2024, following an expected 4% growth in 2023.
The next is current financial landscape in Malaysia. The current financial landscape in Malaysia is categorized by several challenges that have put significant pressure on consumers. The high cost of living is a major concern, with price for essential goods and services like food, utilities, housing and transportation steadily increasing at faster pace than wage growth. has strained household budget, forcing many Malaysians to cut back on discretionary spending. The lack of financial buffers is another issue, with over half of Malaysians saving less than 500 ringgit Malaysia per month or not saving at all. This lack of saving leaves them vulnerable to unexpected expenses or economic shocks, potentially leading to debt accumulation. According to the statistic, over 70% of Malaysians save less than 500 ringgit Malaysia per month in 2022, up from 52% in 2021, indicating significant pressure on household budget due to the high cost of living and inflation. And 63% of Malaysians can only survive 3 months or less on their diminished saving if they lost their jobs, compared to a majority being able to survive 3 to 6 months in 2021. Over 55% of Malaysians spend as much or more than their monthly income, leaving little room for saving and making them vulnerable to economic shocks. So, the tertiary saving capacity of nations, driven by the high cost of living, inflation, and lack of financial buffers, has left a majority of the population in precarious financial position, unable to withstand emergencies or economic downturns. This trend threatens the long-term financial stability and resilience of Malaysian households.
Next, we will move on to factors that affect saving behavior in Malaysia. In Malaysia, the saving behavior of individuals is impacted by a variety of factors. These factors encompass self-efficacy, parental socialization, and self-control. Okay, the first one is self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is defined as individuals' capacity to manage their financial matters and is positively linked to self-assurance, reflecting financial competence. The importance of financial self-efficacy arises when individuals strive to make sound financial choices. Individuals who have high level of self-efficacy are expected to produce well-being for them, not only in physical and mental aspects, but also in terms of behavioral changes. Those with higher self-efficacy will be more confident and achieve greater success in navigating financial challenges and compared to individuals with lower self-efficacy levels. However, individuals who have lower levels of self-efficacy struggle to manage their finances and are hesitant to seek support when needed. The second one is parental socialization. Parents have been identified as having an influence on the financial socialization of their children. The process of this entails the way individuals learn appropriate behaviors and communication within their society. Parental socialization involves the impact parents have on their children, aiming to encourage them to develop the ability to refrain from behaviors that may cause inconvenience or harm to others. There exist two categories of parents. The first one, those who prefer to protect their children from financial challenges and obligation, and those who are not. The second one refrains from involving their children in financial discussions. On the other hand, some parents are keen on educating their children about financial matters due to an understanding of its importance in enabling them to manage their finances effectively and increase savings. Parents who have discussion with their children regarding financial matters are more likely to have successfully raised children who exhibit traits of financial responsibility in adulthood. Lastly is self-control. Self-control is required to prevent the patient from thinking, feeling, experiencing urge or displaying behavior that are problematic. Lack of self-control is commonly characterized by impulse buying behavior. Hence, people with high self-control will not easily be tempted to buy things they do not need. They are aware of the need to set aside cash for future requirements and are very adherent to them devote financial budgets. So self-control is important aspect of personal discipline, whereby those with high self-control are likely to save and plan for their future by putting aside a portion of their income. Individuals with self-control had a positive and significant impact on saving behavior and are more likely to adjust their saving habits. Therefore, the three key characteristics that define self-control are problem-solving orientation, resistant to temptation, and self-discipline.
The next is specific issues that facing by Malaysians include. The first one is rising in living costs. The second one is employment instability, and the third one is healthcare expenses. Alright, the first is rising in living costs. Rising in living costs, cost of living in Malaysia has also raised very many challenges that have raised the cost of living in Malaysia through inflation, devaluation of money, and other effects of global economic problems. As a result, there is more income inequality and worsening of the pre-existing global stratification in conjunction with the increased financial vulnerability of some Malaysian households. The second one is employment instability. This point is become major concern for Malaysians, driven by the severe economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to widespread layoff, business closures, and heightened job vulnerability. And Malaysia's sensitivity to business cycles, where economic downturns often result in increased layoff, reduced working hours, and income loss for households. Also, the country's dependence on foreign workers, which has created strain in the labour market and made it harder for local workers, especially those with lower skills or education, to find and maintain employment. Third one is healthcare expenses. Increasing prices of medical service, such as cost of hospitalization, medical examination, drugs, and consultations from primary care physicians, have been steadily rising. And it's also high cost of treating non-communicable disease, which is the annual healthcare cost of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer in Malaysia exceeds 9 billion, putting a significant strain on the healthcare system. And the rising cost of healthcare has led to an increase in medical insurance premiums, making it difficult for consumers to afford adequate coverage. This has resulted in more people being uninsured or underinsured, potentially limiting their access to necessary medical service.
So now I will explain about the importance of an emergency fund. Firstly, emergency funds are essential for financial security, covering unexpected expenses like medical bills or car repairs. Hence, sufficient working capital equivalent to 3 to 6 months of expenses helps manage financial disruptions. Next, emergency funds reduce stress and anxiety related to financial instability, which ensure peace of mind for unforeseen expenses. So, this financial cushion allows focus on career and family without constant economic worries. In addition, emergency funds prevent high interest debt during unexpected situations. They enable immediate coverage of unforeseen costs, maintaining financial health and credit history for future needs.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Binti AZMAN. Next, I will present about how to start an emergency fund. To start an emergency fund, we need to begin by setting a goal for how much we need to save, typically 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. This offers a financial safety net to handle unforeseen circumstances such as employment, medical crisis, or significant repairs to your home or vehicle. So it is important to budget wisely and make adjustments to your monthly spending in order to set aside a specific amount for your emergency fund. You can achieve this by cutting back your unnecessary expenses like eating out, unnecessary shopping, traveling, and whatsoever. We need to choose a dedicated savings or money market account that is linked to our checking account but not easily accessible, to avoid the temptation of withdrawing the funds for non-emergencies. We also need to start small by setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to the emergency fund, even if it's just like 100 per month initially. We also need to consistently contribute to the account using a system like direct deposit from your paycheck and only withdraw from the fund for true emergencies, such as unexpected medical bills or car repairs. By following this step, we can build a solid financial cushion to protect ourselves from unexpected financial shock.
Next, I will explain about how to maintain an emergency fund. Firstly, set a specific saving target by planning for 3 to 6 months of living expenses to cover basic needs like rent, utilities, food and also insurance. You can start small if necessary, but consistently save a portion of your income using automated transfer to stay within budget. Secondly, keep your emergency fund separate from regular savings or checking accounts to minimize the temptation to use it for non-emergencies. Lastly, you need to regularly review and adjust your emergency fund to reflect changes in your financial situation or living expenses. You need to treat your emergency fund as a non-negotiable budget item, which ensuring consistent contributions.
In conclusion, emergency funds are crucial for financial stability and security, providing a safe net against unexpected expenses like medical bills, car repairs, or sudden income loss. Better financial literacy and practical steps such as setting clear saving goals and automating contributions are essentials for creating and sustaining these funds. The financial landscape in Malaysia shows a significant portion of the population struggle with short-term financial planning in insufficient saving, highlighting the need for comprehensive financial education and proactive saving habits. Policy intervention, support from financial institutions and employees, and integrating financial literacy into education can enhance financial resilience. Prioritizing emergency savings help individuals avoid high interest debt, maintain progress toward financial goals, and reduce stress and anxiety associated with financial uncertainty. That's all from our groups. Thank you.